Okay. All right. So I'm super excited that you guys hopped on this Zoom with us tonight. We're really excited because if you're on this Zoom, that means you're working on promoting to Ruby. And personally, Ruby is one of my very favorite ranks. That rank is what officially, like, I felt like really made me feel like, holy cow, this was legit. Like, this is actual money. And I remember when I went Ruby, my first Ruby paycheck, we were in Walmart, and my husband, that was like the first time he actually like took this business seriously. And I remember him telling me, like, thank you for all that you do. Like, you really help our family, because we were moving and we had bought a bunch of stuff. So it was really kind of cool. So Ruby is like a big deal. I feel like it's like just the first like level that really things start to take off. You know, you have a team and you're kind of just building that foundation for an incredible team. And we all know that Rubies build diamonds. So we're excited to show you guys how to go Ruby, and then you're going to get to help your teammates go Ruby. And then it's just going to be like boom, 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 exploding. Your team's going to be on fire. It's going to be so amazing. So I asked you guys if you could to have your Ruby chart printed out. And if you don't have a printer, or even if you draw it, whatever you got to do that. I remember until I was a double diamond, I was drawing out my chart on notebook paper. So don't feel like if you don't have a printer or you don't have charts printed, that's not you just get the chart drawn out, okay? And then what I make sure you do, and I know I talked about this on the volume thing last night, but make sure you write in the names of the people on your chart. And if you're unsure of who's on your chart, maybe someone else placed people on your team, talk to your enroller, talk to the person that placed them there, and make sure you're just like, hey, you make sure I have this right? But put their names on the chart. And then also, like what I talked about last night, and this is really important, make sure you write like what each person needs and then what their projected volume is going to look like. And you guys, this is going to be really important, because when you look at this chart, you know, you're going to know exactly who needs what and where you need it. And I feel like the more you know, the more you can do. Okay? If you're sitting there saying, I'm going to go Ruby, yet you don't know exactly what you need, I feel like it's not going to push you as much. It's not going to, you know, you're not going to be as fired up about doing it, because you're not really going to know exactly what you need. You might just like, oh yeah, I need some customers. But if you know, I need 1,000 GV and I'm going Ruby, like you have a goal and you can mark that off. So the more you know, the more you can do. And then also, like when you sign a little customer, you're already going to be able to look at this and say, okay, I know where I'm going to put this customer. You know, you're going to have a game plan of what you're going to do, and you don't have to sit there and be like, gosh, I don't know where to put these customers. You're going to know, we're going to knock this out. And so one of the things I like to say is, like, when you're looking at your chart and you see who has what, like whose volume is what, I like to start with the person that's farthest away from 400 and maybe the person that's not bringing in the most volume on their own. Okay, does that make sense? Like, because if you have someone and say their volume is 300, but they sign loyal customers, and maybe you know they have a ton of potentials, I wouldn't be putting anyone under that person, because they can probably get some on their own. Now, say you have Sally over here who only has like 150, and she doesn't really sign that many customers. She might get lucky and sign one. That's where I would be working. So I would be knocking out that part of your chart first, okay? So the person who has the least amount of customers and also is kind of bringing in the least amount of people. Because then that way, if you can help that person, hopefully you can be, you know, kind of encouraging and helping the other people on your team. They can be signing their own customers. So while they're taking care of that, you can be taking care of the farthest away, and then boom, at the end, if you need to come together and help out where you need to, then you do. Is that making sense? And like I said, if I'm losing anyone, if anyone has questions, put them in the chat, because Mandy's going to help me answer them. But that's, like, I feel like one of the main, like, foundations of having your Ruby is knowing what you need and then helping out filling in. Now, one of the other things, like a few of the tips that I have about going Ruby is you want to be talking to your teammates, you know, at least daily or every other day or so. Like, talking to the people on your team and be like, hey, how are things going? Or, you know, or hey, how's it going with potentials? I remember those were things that I always would message to my distributors, and just like, how are things going? Like, kind of see what they're saying, because if they're like, it's going okay, I haven't really signed anyone, I'd just be like, well, are you following up? Or like, what are you saying to people? Like, is there anything I can do to help? Because your excitement, you guys, is going to help your team be excited about it. And even if you didn't enroll those people still are on your team. So you still want to be excited for them. And like I said, your excitement is going to fuel them. So, like, you know, maybe you have, like I was talking to Mandy about this, you know, maybe you have someone on your chart and you need them to be at 400 for you to promote. Maybe they're at like 350. And you're like, man, how can I like get them excited about getting to 400? Maybe you can look at like how many customers they have. Maybe you could be like, oh my gosh, if you get one more loyal customer, you're going to get a product reward. Or, hey, did you know that if you get 2 more loyal customers this month, you're going to be able to get a product reward? And if you guys don't know, product rewards, you can get a pack of wraps or a pack of facials for only $25, or my personal favorite product reward, a bag of coffee for only $19. Like, hello. And that's every time you sign up 2 loyal customers, every time someone on your team signs up 2 loyal customers, they get those product rewards. So that's a little bit of an incentive for the people on your team, you know, to be like, hey, you know, you can get a product reward if you get this many more customers. Another thing, you know, maybe you have a brand new distributor and you need them to 400. Hey, let's hurry up and let's help get you that shopping spree. You know, I like to count down with people. Like, say you give someone a loyal customer, they just started, you're like, oh my gosh, only 3 more customers and you get your $100 shopping spree. You know what I mean? So that's going to kind of keep them excited. That's going to keep them fired up to keep talking to potentials and bringing in some volume as well. And then, like, of course, it's always great, like, if everyone's working together to do this. But I like to think of, like, you know, what I can do the most, like how I can help the most. Okay, so, like, you know, if I'm like, gosh, this person needs 150 and this person needs like 50, like, I'm thinking about how can I chop that number down. Okay, because at the end of the day, like, as Ashley Mayfield would say, like, you're the captain of your ship. Okay, so, like, just thinking about what you can do to help bring in volume as well, because you can help your teammates get that volume too. One of the things too, I know, just this was something Jen really wanted to talk about, but since she didn't get on, I will do that for her. But breaking it down, like, your volume that you need into like certain like products maybe, or product packs. So, and I think like Mandy like might do this. Mandy, do you do that with the thing? Because maybe you can share it a little bit more, because I don't do it. Oh wait, here, I'll unmute you. Stop. I unmuted you.
You're muting me at the same time. Okay, hang on. I want to help you reach your goal. And I was replying in the chat. Okay, what did you say?
So the thing, because don't you do where like you figure out how many product packs you might need for a promotion?
Yeah, so like you could do, just depending on how like your post, like I guess like what you help them post by. Like you could do cleanses, like how many they need, how many orders of cleanses that they need to hit 400 or hit whatever their goal was. Or you could say triple sets. Or you could say, I don't know, you just break it down like what you use the most. Like I was even breaking it down with like the TFX and then the Mocha Dreams. Like how many orders of that they would need.
Yeah. So if you guys like aren't like sure what we mean. So say someone needs 150 volume to be 400. Like you would break that up, and I don't even know what a Mocha Dream and what is that BV? Like probably 36. Like 60 something maybe. Like
yeah, I think it's 66.
So like you would say
divided by 66.
So you could be like, hey, you only need 3 Mocha Dreams and a Thermofite X, like we'll call that a triple threat. You only need 3 triple threats and you hit your goal, kind of thing. You know, whatever it is.
Like that versus like, you know, 10 cleanses. It just seems so much more like reachable and faster.
Well, and I know a lot of like Jen and even like you, sometimes you'll break it down that way for yourself. Instead of being like, oh my gosh, I need like 300 BV, I'll be like, oh, I only need 3 triple threats or something. And it just makes it seem like it just breaks it down. And then that way you would be posting kind of about the triple threat. Like you could be like, oh my gosh, like check out our triple threat pack. Or some things I've been posting lately that I feel like are really getting people's attention is, holy cow, she's only 1 month into her 90-day challenge. And I'm sharing a before and after, and people are asking me, what's the 90-day challenge? So I'm kind of, you know, so it's getting, and then that way it's already setting them up to know that they're going to get in a 3-month program. So you know what I mean? So just wording things like that. But yeah, so breaking up the products kind of like that to help with volume. And even if it's someone that maybe only needs like 50, you could be like, oh my gosh, like you only need like 1 Mocha Dream or 1 triple threat, whatever it is, kind of thing. So that's a fun way to break it down. I'm trying to think. I feel like, Mandy, do you have anything else to add? Any other tips or things you can
Putting
add?
like your goal out there. So like I know like everybody is on here wanting to go Ruby, but like what is going Ruby going to get you? Is it gonna like help you pay for a certain thing? Is it going to, put savings account, pay off a credit card, pay for your car insurance or car payment? But like
For like kids sports or
yeah,
whatever.
like physically voice it and be like, this is what I'm going for. I only need 3 more triple threats to hit my goal. Who can help me? And then like post result pictures, because then they know, this is like a legit thing. Like they're going to, like, their personal order is going to help you reach your goal. It's not just an order. So it seems
And I always like, yeah, and I always like posting like, oh my gosh, like I'm so excited. I'm going Ruby this month and gonna earn an extra, whatever a month, or just something like that, because even at the end of the day, it kind of like pulls people into what you're doing. Like it gets people excited for you, because even while we don't always feel like it, people kind of like, they're excited. They want to see you do that. They want to see, is she going to hit that goal kind of thing. But it kind of like pulls them into your journey a little bit too. And it's kind of fun that way. But yeah, like Mandy said, just saying like, oh my gosh, like I'm only like 3 triple threats from my order. Like who can help me out? Or just anything like that, because you're going to have people that are going to want to help you. And it might just be for whatever reason, like that might be the thing that makes somebody like, okay, fine, I'll help you. Or, hey, like, how can I help? Or what do you need? Or what can I do? And I mean, sometimes it's even like getting, even someone with perk points or something, or an existing customer might order where you need volume. So that's always really great. I was going to say too, like, and I talked about this last night, but going through and checking, see who has perk points to use. Maybe you have someone that turned off their auto ship last month and they have like 15 perk points. Let those people know, like, hey, you have a $15 coupon on any product on my website. Like, I'd love to help you use it, because even if they use it, that's not going to bring in a ton of volume, but it's going to bring in some. So it's just anything there, or you never know, they might order more than their perk points and still bring in a little extra volume too. So that's always something like I like to do. And it's kind of crazy, because you'll even have I feel like I have existing people order all the time, and sometimes you're like, oh, like I got an order today, but it was already a loyal customer. Well, that's still volume that you're bringing in, you guys. So those are still great things to be excited about. Go back to some of your loyal customers that that love the products, and just be like, hey, I just want to check in with you, see if you needed anything else, or if I could help you place. I know you really love the greens. I just want to see if you were out or if you needed more. Things like that are going to help bring in volume too. Like just checking in with your existing customers and just seeing if they need anything. I feel like I probably forgot stuff. Mandy, do you have anything else? If not, we can have some of our.
The only thing I can say is like going and using our perk point report. I've been obsessed with it, and every single like the last week of the month is whenever I go in and I just like message every single person. And I don't care if I message that person every single month. I just give them their total every time. Like, oh my gosh, you have this much in free money. And it ends up like sometimes like what Lindsay was saying, it just has them order something, and maybe they've been looking at the skincare, but they didn't want to spend the money. And they're like, oh, well, if I get that for free, then they're going to get it and they're going to fall in love with it and they're going to add it to their auto ship.
Oh, something I was even going to say too, if someone's like, oh, like, how can I help? And like, maybe they can't order something, but something you could say is like, hey, a way you could help me is, would you be willing to put a post up on your page for me? And just basically having them do a post for you, but they're still like helping you without even ordering. So sometimes you have to think about that too, like how could, like a little bit outside the box, but that's an easy way to get people to help you without them having to buy anything. Or you could even just make a post too and be like, oh my gosh, I'm so close to a promotion. I need 10 people to help me. Like, and you could even say no purchase necessary, or, or no, I don't want you to buy anything. And it's just another way to have a post done. And then you're basically just asking them like, hey, would you be willing to, I'm super close to my goal this month. Like, would you be willing to put a post up on your page? And you never know, it could turn into them being like, well, hey, how can I order that? Or, hey, I'll help you. You know what I mean? Without you even like intentionally asking that. So I kind of thought that popped in my head too. Okay, so I'm going to have a few, really quick, I'm going to have a few people that promoted to Ruby last month. are going to hop on here and just share a quick, like one of their biggest tips or something that they have that felt like to help them the most go Ruby with you guys. So it's really exciting because these people just did this last month, you guys. So they're hot. Their tips are fresh. Like, so be sure to like listen to what they have to say. Okay, I think we're going to start with Shelby first. Shelby, can you hear me? Okay. All right. Yay. Okay.
Am I unmuted? Can everyone hear me?
Yes, you are. Okay.
Okay.
So Shelby, introduce yourself really fast and tell us when you joined.
Okay. So I joined at the end of November. I had been a loyal customer for probably about 2 months. And I was doing keto coffee and chocolate greens at the time and the Thermo Fight. That was before the X came out. And within the first month, I lost like 9 inches overall in a month. And that's when there was a promo going on before like late November. And so I signed on under Mandy. Because I figured I'm like the type of person who I tell everybody about everything I do. Like if I read a great book, I tell everyone about it. So I was like, I'm going to tell everyone that I'm doing this. I might as well sign on at a promo price and potentially make money off of it. So I was throughout November, December, and the beginning of January, I was still in school. I was getting my master's and I had boards coming up. So I didn't even really like super push. I was really just like doing the posts, like a couple posts a day. And I got a couple loyal customers, but it was once February hit, that I was done with school, done with my boards and everything, that I really started pushing. And throughout February and March, I got way more loyal customers than I did the month before. I signed 5 DTs in like 5 weeks. And I think like a huge, like biggest tip that I have was like sharing my own personal results is what really like blew it up. Like friends, family, stuff like that. They really were more receptive to it when I was sharing my own personal photos and results of me. Like before and afters of everyone else, we have our great for daily posts, but showing like myself, is probably my biggest tip. Like how they always say, be a product of the product. Like super true. Definitely. Yeah. And the biggest, most important thing that I've learned.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I'm glad you mentioned that because that is really a great thing. And even if you guys don't have like before and after pictures to use, even if it's just a picture of you holding the product, or whatever, and being like, oh my gosh, I love my greens, or oh my gosh, I love the keto coffee, and just saying something about how it makes you feel. Or what just things like that. Like, and it sounds so crazy because before this business, I used to think selfies were like so cheesy and I like never did them. But once I started taking the pictures with the product, it was like weird because it's like when people like associate like them seeing your face in that product like together, it like clicks with them that like, oh my gosh, she really does use this, or oh, she really does like these products. So excuse me, I really could tell a difference even in that of people like kind of being more interested. So I just wanted to like, piggyback off of what Shelby said. Of course, your own before and afters are great too, but even if you don't have those yet, just share like what you think about the product too, because that's going to just like let people know they are using it and like your personal testimony. So
yeah, even if you don't like want to post about it every day, like throwing it in your story. Like it takes 3 seconds to put up a story and it's so much less intimidating, I guess, to like so many people will react to a story and that gives you a potential to follow up with. Oh, you like loved my story where I posted about my keto coffee and chocolate greens this morning. Like, what's up with that? Like, do you want to know more about it? A lot of people might not comment on a post, but like when they're flipping through your stories, they might like love it or like wow it or something. And it gives, you another potential.
Well, and I feel like whenever like I would do stories, like I suck at doing stories. I like don't do them as much as I should, but whatever. I'll work on that. But like if someone like looks at every single like post in my story, I feel like they're interested if they're like watching every single thing. Because if they're not interested, why would they watch the whole thing? They would just go on to the next. So sometimes what I would do is if I had at the last slide, if I had someone that was watching the whole thing, like I would message them, be like, hey, like I saw you checked out my story. Like, what do you think? Like, I'd love to give you some more information or something. Just something simple like that. So I love that. Well, thank you so much, Shelby, for that tip. That was really great. And congratulations
Thank you.
on your promotion. I know you're heading straight to Emerald. You're doing awesome.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Happy for you.
Great. Okay, I got one more. I have to ask her this. What do you think your biggest tip was on signing distributors? Because you signed 5 in 5 weeks.
So honestly, we had the promos going on. So I feel like I thought about it like if I can't sign people when I have a promo, like how am I ever going to do it? So I think it just kind of like really motivated me to push because I was like, if I can't use these $20 promo codes, how am I going to sign people at $99? Like I need to figure it out. So it kind of just gave me the motivation to reach out and really like make sure I was following up with people and make sure I was reaching out to begin with. Like I have a friend who signed on with me after like 3 weeks as a loyal. She literally, I work with her. She bought the ThermoFight X for me. It didn't even come in yet. She was a loyal customer for a whole 3 weeks with me. And she was like, screw it. I'm just going to join anyway. I'll just so I think it's just the way you present it. Like once you're more excited about it and once you're like, this is such a great thing that's happening for me in my life, even if you haven't made any money off of it yet, like share what other people are making or share what it's going to do for you. Like my whole thing when I started, I was like, if I can pay for the stuff that I get monthly, that's what I'll be happy with. So once it was paying for my auto ship, I was like, that's good enough to post with. Like, oh, look, I'm getting all this stuff for free because I'm making more than enough money to buy it. So I think just like kind of being excited and being really motivated and outgoing helps people get attracted to the business and to what we're doing. And once they start seeing you every day in their feed, they're going to be like, oh, I can definitely, I can do this. I know this person and I see them every day and I can do it. So I don't know. I got really motivated and I just wanted to get, I wanted to promote.
Well,
So
I think the big thing, like you just said, was you just got out of your comfort zone. Like you used that and told yourself, okay, if it's now or never. Like this is, so, and I think that's something everybody can use. Cause I remember for me too, like asking people was like the hardest thing, like asking people if they'd ever thought about doing this. And once I did, it completely changed my business because I was blown away about the amount of people that were like, you know what, I have thought about it before. And I'm like, you have? Like, I didn't expect you to say yes. So it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
So you just got to ask and get yourself out there.
Exactly.
So,
and
awesome.
like people are going to say no. That was like, I don't know why I was so worried about that in the beginning. I was like super concerned. I was like, oh wow, people are going to be so offended. Like, no, they're not. They're just going to say, no, I'm not interested. And they're going to move on with life. Like no one's going to be like super upset. And if people are rude about it, you just delete them.
Yeah.
So,
hey, I've had people tell me no before and they came back and signed up. So even in the no doesn't even mean anything. So awesome. Well, thank you so much, Shelby. You're a rock star and we're so excited for you and all the big things you're going to do. So thanks again for sharing your tips. Is Colleen on here? Colleen Green. I know I don't see her name, but I don't know who these like weird Galaxy and Samsung things are. So Colleen, if you are on, drop a thing in the chat, but we'll go on to Christy next. Hey, I think you're unmuted.
Hi, ladies.
You were the rebel and left yourself unmuted this whole time, but you were quiet.
Oh, oops.
Okay, so why don't you just introduce yourself quickly? I know a lot of people, heard from you the other night and stuff, but just give us a quick little rundown about you, and then we'll get into your tip.
Awesome. Well, I am a prime example of a slow starter in this business. I joined the business back in October, and I had a lot of, life things that happened. Truly my life was kind of a sad, well, it wasn't even kind of a sad story. It was a sad story when I joined this business. And I made a couple of really, about 3 decisions in my life that were pretty dramatic because I was just tired of just feeling like I wasn't wasn't getting anywhere in life. Like I was just always kind of, you ever heard, I was watching Friends tonight while I was eating dinner. You feel like you're always stuck in second gear. That was my story. So life had happened. I had a death in the family. And now I'm raising that person's 14-year-old son, was going to be moving, left behind a job that I really loved because there was absolutely zero work-family balance, working about 70 hours a week. So when I decided to do this business, I literally was scared to death with all this stuff going on. So it was really nice. The friendships that I've made in this business have been amazing. The girls on my team, Lindsay, people that, Jen Stevens, Mandy's a rock star, Cheryl Munger. I mean, I could just go on and on about the friendships that I've made. And it seems to me that everybody really, like if I didn't have a belief in myself, they had it in me. So where I didn't have it, I could just sort of fake it, until I felt that way and just go through the behaviors. So started the business in October, that made a decision in January that I really wanted to, if I was going to do this, I was going to do it right. So that's really when there was a fire lit underneath me. I thought, I have the opportunity now to bless so much. I mean, even though my life sort of felt like a tornado at the time, I could really see the beauty on the other side of that. And I knew that this business was going to offer me that work-family balance, life balance that I have been missing so long, and give me the opportunity to raise this 14-year-old and give time to my community and community service and the things that I love to do in my position before in leadership. So I just decided I was not going to be half in anymore, and I was basically just going to do whatever I was told. And so that's what I did. And it's really made all the difference. The team aspect of this is so important because there's no way I could do this by myself, because we all have those days. I mean, I kind of had a day to day where I'm like, I'm just not feeling it. I'm getting ready to go on vacation. So I have that I'm ready for vacation blues thing going on right now. So it's just knowing that everybody has those days. And really just today I thought, I'm not feeling it. So I'm just going to work a little bit harder. I'm going to pretend like I am. And then once I just got myself working today, it really turned it around. I have about 5 post-to-post going on right now. Luckily, I'll probably be up late tonight making sure everybody has the information that they need. So today turned out to be a really good day, but I realized that I was the only one that could turn it around. Nobody else is going to do it for me.
Is it her that's frozen? Oh. Christy, can you hear me?
Yeah, an ad popped up for Mr. It's been bugging me all day.
Come on. Okay. So maybe that was like your sign, because we know you like to talk, so maybe that was your sign. Okay, so I know like January is when you really were like, I'm getting serious. So January you were like, I'm getting serious. Last month you went Ruby, and you even went Ruby like quite a little ways before the end of the month. So what do you feel like, when we talked about this earlier today, say there's someone on here that's 500 BV away from being a Ruby. What would be your biggest tips for helping them do that?
The biggest tip, if you're 500 away,
or even like anything, but I feel like that's a good number we're going to shoot.
Yeah, I mean anything. If it's 150, if it's 800. What I've found is to be really, really helpful is all of us are chatting with people, and somebody might have told you no, or somebody might have said, I'm just not interested right now. Going into your chat and literally searching a topic like Thermophyte X, cleansed, keto coffee, and just sitting there. I sit there with a piece of paper and I write down every single person I've talked to. And I mean, it'll fill up a couple of pages, because regardless of whether they told you no, I mean, it might not be the right time then. So writing that down and then just literally firing off, hey girl, I thought about you when I saw this great result with Thermofite X. Send them a screenshot of a result that's mind-blowing. I thought about you when I saw this. I know we talked about Thermofite X before. Are you still looking to lose some pounds, girl? I would love to help you get started. And I mean, you're hammering out several of those. You're going to start seeing people say, yeah, I'm interested. So really going through and following up and doing it, if you can do it on a daily basis. And I think too, just interacting with people, making sure that you're doing that. Maybe it's somebody that, that likes all of your posts. Shoot them a message and just say, hey, I really appreciate you. I know I can count on you to love on my post for my business. I appreciate that so much. Hey, what's that about? Are you interested in the Thermofite X? I'd love to give you more information. So it's just, and maybe even check on people too. They might say, hey, I'm getting ready to go on vacation. Now's not a good time. I had a teacher today that told me she was moving her daughter across country, but she was interested in my product. Get back with her. So I got back with her today, and she's like, I promise you I'll call you during my planning time tomorrow, and we'll go ahead and get this started. And she told me no 2 or 3 times. It was like there was always something going on. So just making sure, sometimes even just follow up with somebody to check on them. Maybe have a day where you're just like, you know what? I'm not even going to talk to him about the business. I'm just going to say, hey, how was that wedding that you went to? Or your daughter had prom coming up. How was that? How was your vacation? And a lot of times they'll just drop in and say, hey, I haven't forgotten about you. I'm still interested in your product. And then that gets that conversation going. I can't hear you.
Yeah, that's because I was muted. So
Oh.
I'm really smart. I like to do that sometimes, just to make sure people are paying attention. Well, something I was going to say, and I thought about this the other day, and I even thought about it because I know Katie's on here, and she had a lot of people, so other people probably do, like, they were like hesitant to buy the Thermofite X because it was on back order. And Katie, I was going to message you this so you can just hear me say it now because I'm like really unorganized. But I was just going to message those people and you could search in Messenger Thermofite X or weight loss, whatever, but go through and message those people and just be like, hey, I'm so excited. I just wanted to tell you Thermofite X is no longer on back order. Were you still interested in trying it? Like going to those people and letting them know it's off back order, because you never know. Like those people could be like, oh, heck yeah, I'm ready to try it. Like I did a post the other day about it being off back order, and I had a couple people that messaged me and were like, hey, can I get it now?
Yes.
Like I said, just search in Messenger Thermofite, and they'll bring up every conversation that you've mentioned Thermofite, or even search back order. That will even bring it up, and just go through and just tell them like, hey, I just wanted to let you know Thermofite X isn't on back order anymore. Would you still like to try it? So that's like a really good thing to kind of go off the following up. So thank you, Christy, so much for sharing those. I love the tips you shared. And you like crushed it. So, and you're like the volume queen. So I appreciate you sharing that with us.
I appreciate you and all you ladies. You're awesome.
Everybody's amazing. Okay, so Colleen is on here really quick, so we're going to let her share. She was on the Pam's thing, so we'll give her a little break because she hopped on late. But, okay, Colleen. Oh, hey, how come I can't unmute you? Okay, because you're probably trying to unmute yourself at the same time. Okay,
Yeah.
Colleen, why really quick you introduce yourself, and then we want you just to share, like, what would you say is, like, your biggest tip, because everybody on here is working on going Ruby this month, and, you went Ruby last month, so we just want you to share, like, one of your biggest tips on, like, to help them, rock this out and finish the month strong and hit that promotion.
Okay. Well, my name is Colleen, obviously, and I started in January, and I wasn't one of those people that wanted to join for a couple $100. I was wanting to join for a couple $1,000 right away. So I really, really pushed myself and educated myself because I knew absolutely nothing about It Works, none of the products, anything. So when I started, I dived in head first with full force. So that would be like my first advice, would like YouTube videos, watching all the uplines such as yourself, Lindsay, because you're such a good influence. Jen also is such a good influence. Patricia, they all have helped so much. And actually, I wouldn't have promoted if it wasn't for my team and everyone helping. So my biggest thing that really, really helped me to promote was follow-up. I have like this notebook here is packed full since January of names, and every Friday I go through the whole thing, and you would be surprised, like when they say no, it's true. No does not mean never, because I have gotten so many people to order that said, no, I can't afford it, or, so follow up is definitely is gold. And the host to post, sending out host to post, like 20 of them a day is golden also. So
yeah, well, and I think kind of like, the follow-up is big, but even just like them putting out there, talking to more people, getting your reach out there is really like kind of doubling your efforts probably. And I feel like there was something you had said that of course I like lost my train of thought, but
also someone, if you ask someone on your follow-ups, hey, I'm following up with you to see if, you're still interested in the keto coffee, and they still are not ready to order, hit them up for a host to post then. To say, well, then would you be willing to host a post for me then and see how this works, Well,
so and something I was going to say before, I know in the past, like if someone, like if they weren't ready to order, I'd be like, hey, like, would you be interested in putting up a post for me? And I'll put you into a drawing for some free product. And a lot of times, like, people will be like, okay, yeah. And then again, you're just kind of like growing your network that way. And I like how you mentioned the notebook about like, I know Christy, she said the same thing. Like she writes the name downs and you have your little notebook, but even like writing those name downs, because I used to do that all the time, and I feel like it did help because I would just flip through like on every Friday and be like, okay, I'm going to go through. But even like jotting down, if you talk to someone, they're like, well, I can't order for like a few weeks. Get a calendar or get your planner out and write that down. Write it down for in a few weeks. Yeah. Like
$2 at Dollar General. It is so cute. It has stickers in it where you can put like, you got this, girl, to help you amp your mood up every day. And yes, every time I talk to somebody and they're like, well, I don't get paid, I can't order till I get paid. And I'm like, well, when's payday? Mm-hmm. And there's where their payday is, Yeah. Definitely follow up. It's been great.
Yeah, the follow-ups are huge, you guys. And I mean, I had a girl, I was telling Mandy this yesterday, I signed a girl last night for like the keto coffee bundle, but I started talking to her last July, this girl and I started talking, and literally I can't even tell you how many times she's ignored my messages. And all of a sudden the other day she was like, hey, I know I've talked to you a million times, but I'm finally ready to order. And I was like, I'll believe it when I see it. It was like a process, even like, I think it even took like 3 days just this time back and forth to finally get her to order. But that's just the thing, you guys, like so many of these people, like go back and check back with them, be like, hey, I know you weren't really ready a few months ago, but I just wanted to check in. We have some great new products or whatever it is, like where you're interested in trying it. Or like one of the other things I was going to tell you guys too is make sure you're messaging, and I think someone mentioned it, and I think it was Christy, but make sure you are messaging the people that like your post. And I really can't stress that enough, because I did not used to do that. Because I would be like, well, if they really are interested, they're going to comment or they're going to message me. Like I never messaged the likes. And now I do. And I'll just be like, hey, like so-and-so, like thanks for the love on my post about keto coffee. Were you interested in some more info? That's all I say. Worst thing they're going to say is be like, oh no, I was just like trying to like show some love. But I have had so many people say yes, like I would love more info. And, and there you go. You're starting the conversation. So if you're not, like, just go through, like, at the end of the day even, and look at your It Works post for that day and see who liked it. And just go through one by one, boom, 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 and message them. That quick, short little message. The worst they're going to say is, like, no, I accidentally hit it. My finger slipped on the heart emoji whenever I, because you'll get those people. But you know, but if you get someone that says, yeah, they're interested, you guys, like, come on, like, if you talk to 10 people and one of the people wants to order, heck yeah, that's a win in my book. Let's see. Colleen, one more question. Someone asked, and what was a tip that you have? Do you have any tips for signing distributors?
I think it's just like how you're posting about the business. I try to always use like my why and what I'm going to be doing with all the moolah I'm going to be making down the road here. And people usually, believe it or not, the distributors that I've signed have, almost all of them have approached me about it or commented on one of those posts.
So you're putting out there like what the business is going to do for you or why you're doing this.
Yes. And also if it's someone that you're asking, they showed an interest in a post and you're asking them if they want to, order that product, and they say, well, I can't afford it right now. I'm a single mom, or I don't have that kind of money laying around, which I've had one of them say to me, I don't have that kind of money laying around. And I'll just be like, well, you know what? That is the main reason why you need this, and then I'll kind of do the whole motherly thing that I have such a weird way about me of being mom-like, because I am a mom, but, and it just, they get to like, oh, wow, she really does want to help me, and just care about that person. So that's how I've gotten my distributors.
Just being genuine and being a friend.
Yeah.
That piggybacks off really good off of what Christy was talking about. Well, and one of the things I was going to share too was like, whenever I have people, again, we're going back to host a post. If I have someone do a host a post for me and they get a ton of people commenting, like, I'll tell them, I'll be like, hey, like, okay. And I'll even just say like, you might think I'm like crazy for saying this, but you did a post for me yesterday and you had so many people interested. That's just one post that you did for somebody else. Like, I think you would be really great at what I do. Like, have you ever thought about it? So that's like a thing that I've kind of done. And because realistically, they're doing the host to post already. Like, they're basically just work their business,
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's just like, you literally just did what I do. Like, I think you'd be really great at it. So going in, and worst case, I did it to a girl and she's like, like, I don't know, I got a lot going on. And I'm like, hey, you know what? I'm not going anywhere. So, when you decide the time is right, I'd be love to help you. But I planted that seed, and she already she's a loyal customer of mine and she likes the product. So I believe 1,000,000% it's only a matter of time. But, one thing I learned a long time ago was if you don't ask, the answer is always no. So you can at least ask, and the worst that they're going to tell you is you're crazy, no thank you. And you're like, okay, see you later, on to the next kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So awesome. Well, thank you so much, Colleen, for sharing your tip. Congratulations on Ruby. I'm really, really excited because I've talked to Jen a lot about you, and I know that you've got big things coming up. So we're really excited to keep
Emerald's
watching.
Emerald's right there. Right there.
Awesome. We're excited.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Well, and thank you guys to everybody that hopped on here tonight. We're going to get ready and get off of here. But if you guys have any more questions or anything, don't hesitate to message messaging the people that shared something. If they said something tonight that you wanted to know more about, they're all in Freedom Wrappers. If me or Mandy, if you need to ask us a question, your upline, whatever, we're here to help you. Like, we want to help you. So come to us, ask us questions. We're going to tell you exactly what we've done or, how we would do it to be successful. Just come to us. That's why we're here. So we are really, really excited. You guys, there is still 2 weeks of the month left. I was telling this to Mandy the other day. I'm like, I don't know why, but I feel like the month should almost be over. And we still have 2 whole weeks, you guys. 2 weeks is a lot of time to make things happen. At this point, honestly, I don't think that there's any way that you could not go Ruby. There's lots of time to make it happen, you guys. So just every single day, get off of the Zoom. Even if tomorrow you have to spend tomorrow as kind of your game planning day, getting your thoughts together, really thinking about your plan of attack. And then you have the last 2 weeks to do this thing. Like, don't tell yourself, oh, this weekend I'm going to get on top of it. No, like, we're going to get on top of it like ASAP. So, Mandy, did you want to say something? I saw you unmuted yourself. Are you going to close this
I
out?
have something I have to say.
Okay.
Okay, so 2 really quick things about distributors, about signing distributors.
Oh, yeah, I didn't even ask you. So, yeah, I guess.
I know. Well, I'm going to say it. I remember one time me and Lindsay went to, I want to say it was like Nashville, like a boot camp in Nashville. And there was a girl up there and she was just like, I was a lawyer, and she was saying all these like picture perfect things. And she's like, my best friend or somebody that she knew personally never even came to her and asked her if she wanted to do the business. And it just like blew my mind. It like
Yeah.
my aha moment, because I was like, holy crap, like here this person is, and she was like offended. She was like, I
Yeah.
cannot believe that she never came to me and just said, hey, do you want to do this business with me? And it just like made me like, I guess, realize like, don't judge a person by Facebook. They might look like they're the richest person and they have everything salved and they have everything ready to go and everything's great, but they really do like need the business. So just reaching out and just asking them isn't going to hurt anything. And if anything, they might be offended if you don't. So you don't know who you're hurting worse.
Mhm.
And then I had something else I needed to say. Oh, then the other thing is like sometimes I feel like whenever I first started, my biggest like problem was I didn't know who to message, like where to start, even if it was asking a host to post or asking if I like, or ask them if they wanted to join. Something I did that like kind of got me out of that comfort, or getting me out of my comfort zone, was whenever I would do an interaction post, or I would do like a picture of my kids and I'd post about it. Those people that like those pictures, they're seeing your at works post. So even though you think, okay, well, they liked this, but they didn't like my at work stuff, they're not interested, just go out and ask them. You could just send them like the random, like, hey, I know this is random, but would you be interested in doing what I do? Just completely off guard, go comment, like on their stuff, and just kind of show that you see them and they see you. And then just sending them that quick message just to see, if they are, because they already know what you're doing because they're seeing your other stuff. And if they're liking on your interaction stuff, they're liking on your kids, they're liking on your dog, they're seeing your at work stuff. So it was like something that just kind of like broke me past that wall of like, who do I go to? I don't know where to go now. And then like whenever I'm interacting, whenever I go through those people and I'm interacting and I'm looking at someone, I'm like, gosh, like this person, like, I don't know, like she's so positive, she's happy. I go ask those people because I know that they're already going to be good.
Yeah, I like
Those
that.
are my
Just
No fear.
heck yeah, you're just going out there and asking.
Hit that.
Okay, thank you. I love that. Thanks, Mandy, for sharing. Okay, you guys, so you have a lot of amazing tips. I really hope this was helpful to you guys. I hope you got some new ideas to implement. I can see the excitement. I can see all the wheels turning. I even got some really great ideas. So I'm just really excited. And again, if you guys have questions, need help, let us know. Keep us posted on how it's going, like the progress you're making, and just know that we're all here for you. We're all cheering you on, and that you've got this. You got this. Just keep telling yourself you've got this. Think of Colleen's notebook. You got this. So, all right, you guys have a great night, and thank you so much, and we will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.